Okay, hopefully I have enough room on this to do these. So, and hopefully you had enough practice on AA. I don't know whether just AA4 to be able to get that practice down a little bit, because this is going to take a little bit more time, a little bit more paper and pencil, because, yeah, I can't do this without paper and pencil, so you can't do this with paper and pencil. Alright, so again, we have a trinomial. 1, 2, 3. First thing we do to look to see is there anything that we can take out. We have a 3, a 10, and a 3. Nothing goes into 3, 10, and 3 except for 1, and there's not a k in everything. So there's not a greatest common factor, or the greatest common factor is 1, so there's nothing to take out. So I'm going to erase these. Okay. Now, the kicker here. Our leading coefficient is not 1 anymore. Our leading coefficient is another number. So we have to do something with it to make it doable. What we're going to do is make it into a problem that we know how to work, which was AA4. And so because there's a 3 in the front, you're going to move it to the back and multiply. But we can't forget that we've done this because we have to do something at the end, okay? So our new problem for just a little bit is k squared plus 10k plus 9. How did I get 9? Because I did 3 times 3. Now we're going to work it the way that we did in AA4. K plus, and a positive times a positive is a positive. We're always going to multiply to get the end, and we're going to do this to get the middle. So that's plus. So it multiplies to get 9 and adds to get 10. 9 and 1. So that's going to be a 9, and that's going to be a 1. You're like, okay, you're finished. But we're not, because remember we moved the 3 at the beginning. What did we do? We multiplied. So we have to undo that. So what we're going to do, we're going to divide these two numbers by the number that we multiplied at the very beginning. What did we multiply by? We multiplied by 3. So we're going to divide both of those by 3. And this is what happens. 9 over 3 is 3. So we're going to reduce that. The pen is not going to work again. Go figure, right? And is 1 over 3 reduced? Yes. But if we are left with a fraction, first off you have to reduce it. But if we're left with a fraction, whatever is on bottom is going to go to the front of that right there. So it's going to be a 3k plus 1. That's plus 1. Okay. So that is your answer. And if we took the time and distributed all of this out, what should we get? We should get that right there. Okay? I'm not going to do that. Well, yeah, I am for this one time. So k times 3k is 3k squared. K times 1 is 1k. 3 times 3k is 9k. And 3 times 1 is 3. And 1 plus 9 is 10k. So 3k squared plus 10k plus 3. Okay. So it worked. Alright. So we have this. We're going to move it to here and get 22. So our easier problem is that. Take the plus sign. A positive times a negative is a negative. Multiply to get 22 and subtract to get 9 is 2 and 11. 11 is bigger, so it goes first, and the 2 goes here. But because we multiplied by the 2, we have to divide by the 2. 11 over 2 will not reduce, and it's still a fraction, so the 2 is going to go in front of the x. Give plus 11, and 2 over 2 reduces to 1. Move 3 over. S squared minus 11s plus 24. S and S minus and minus. Multiply to get 24, add to get 11, 3 and 8, so 8 goes first. And then we have to divide by the 3. 8 over 3 does not reduce, so we're going to move the 3 in front of the s. Keep the 8 negative. 3 over 3 reduces to 1. Nope. K squared minus 7k minus 18. K minus, k plus. Multiply to get 18, subtract to get 7, 9 and 2. Divide by 2. 9 over 2 does not reduce, so we're going to move the 2 in front of the k. Okay, time out. Okay, so again, I haven't really been paying attention, I guess just because I have so much experience on doing these. I've been doing them for like 30 years now, and I haven't really been telling you and reminding you that you need to look to see if anything can be taken out. On the 4 problems that we've done so far, there is not a greatest common factor, or the greatest common factor is 1, so there's nothing to take out. Nothing will go into 2, 9, and 11, or 3, 11, and 8, 2, 7, and 9, right? But this is whenever those multiplication skills kind of come in handy. We have 3 and 14 and 39. 3 goes into all 3 of them. Now, if you don't know any of that, again, you can look at your factor chart and look at all 3 of those numbers, and 3 is in all of them. So because 3 is in all of them, then 3 is a factor of 3, 42, and 39. So the first thing to do, we have to take out a 3. And whenever we're taking out a 3, you're dividing everything by 3. So k squared plus, I don't have a calculator with me, so make sure I'm doing that right, plus 13, okay? You're not finished. All we've done is taken out the greatest common factor. This 3 is part of your answer. If you do not put 3 in IXL, it will count it wrong. I promise you that. But then we have to look at this right here, the whole thing. That's what we got to see if we can factor it even more. And the answer is yes, because that's what this lesson's about. And so, but the good thing is that your your leading coefficient is now 1. So we don't have to multiply the 13 by whatever's in front of the k squared and, do all that dividing and everything. All we have to do is what we did in AA4. So our variable is k, our first sign is plus, our second sign is going to be plus, multiply to get 13, add to get 14, 13 and 1, and since our leading coefficient was 1 right there, we don't have to do any of the dividing, and so that is your answer. The 3 must be there. Okay, 10, 48, and 10. So we look up those 2 numbers on your factor chart. Is the number in those squares that are in both the 10 and the 48? And the answer would be yes, and it would be a 2. So we're going to divide everything by 2. Okay, what do we get? We get 5. Because we get 5, we're going to have to do that yucky jumping just a little bit. Okay? Because this is 5, we have to move it over to that 5 and multiply. But the 2 is still, the 2 is part of the answer, but the 2 is chilling. The 2 is done. You don't have to do anything else to it. So x squared minus 24, 24x. minus 25. X and X minus and plus. What multiplies to get a negative 25 and subtracts to get a negative 24? 25 and 1. But remember that we multiplied the 5 and the 5 and got 25? That's when you have to do the dividing part. But not the 2, because the 2 was done, remember? So 25 over 5 is 5. 1 over 5 does not reduce, so we're going to move the 5 to the front and leave the 1 there. Okay, we're going to divide everything by 5 again, because 5 goes into all of those numbers. 18. That's a 2. And 19. But our leading coefficient is 1 again, so we don't have to do that multiplication and dividing and everything. We're just going to use the 2 parentheses. We're going to put an n and a plus and a minus, multiply to get a negative 19, and subtract to get positive 18, so 19 and 1. 4, 4, and 4. K squared minus 5k plus 4. That's 1, so we don't have to do anything else. 4. This is going to be the answer. Negative times a positive is a negative. Multiply to get 4 and add to get 5 is 4 and 1. There we go.